All right, everybody. So once again, my name is Stephen Tristan Young, and I'm the Senior Director of Acquisition Marketing. I'm going to move over here a little bit so I'm not having feedback. I'm the Senior Director of Acquisition Marketing at GrubHub. And I'm here to kind of take you guys a little bit through sort of something that's obviously very near and dear to my heart, probably nearer and dearer than my favorite beach destination, my nieces and nephews. It's online food ordering. It has been my life for the last 5 years. It doesn't sound sexy, because trust me, 5 years ago when I joined, people were like, what are you doing and why are you joining this company? What exactly is this? Why would I order my food online or on the phone? And when you really think about that, 5 years ago, we are such a different space right now. When you think about all the same-day delivery, all the online ordering that's happening out there, we're very fortunate to have been in a space that's very early on. And an interesting tidbit is, GrubHub has actually been around for almost 8 to 10 years. So it was really, really very early on in that sort of adoption curve, and really thinking about how do you build this out via different cities, and how do you sort of create the experience. What I want to take you guys through today is sort of the experience of what is online food ordering, and sort of what is a little bit about GrubHub to kind of level set. Then really thinking about how we thought about customer advocacy internally, and what was sort of the genesis of that. And then more importantly, what was the problem we were trying to solve for, and sort of how we leveraged Excel as part of that solution. I don't really think I have time for questions, so if you have any questions later, you can feel free to ping me later and I'll be able to answer it, or they'll have my information. So first part is, it's a little bit about GrubHub, just to make sure everyone level set. So how many here have actually ordered food or ordered any form of takeout? Okay, good. Great total addressable market. How many of you have had a bad experience ordering food, whether you got the wrong food? See, even right there, if no one raised their hand, I was going to walk out. So I figured people here in this room can relate to this, and it's very important because food is such an integral part of our lives. When I think about every one of you, I think about the 3 times you have to eat a day, some 5, the 7 days a week you have to eat, the 365 days a year. I come with a favorite phrase I call share of stomach. Our goal as a company is to maximize your share of stomach with you, to make sure that we get as much of your ordering. And why does that matter? Because we make this ordering so much easier than it was before. So GrubHub is actually 2 companies that were combined. We merged with a company called Seamless, which many of you from New York probably know and love. It's combined as an entity, actually has over 30,000 restaurants in the country. So imagine that out of the total restaurant population, there's about 300,000. So we're only 10% into the market. We're in over 800 cities. You can see little happy little dots on there. We process on average about 182,000 orders a day. Now when you think about it from a scale standpoint, it's 126 orders per minute. It doesn't seem a lot, but when you think about the fact that this industry is over $70 billion, GrubHub/Seamless is really making a dent, but it's very, very early on. It's, for all of us here, it's really where if you live in a city that's technologically enabled, you will have experienced it. If not, that's the rest of the addressable market in the future. And right now we have 5 million active diners. Seems like a small number, but I'll tell you, these are 5 million ordering customers. So they're not just email lists, they're not just leads, these are people who've actually converted. So fundamentally, how does it work, right? I always say the favorite phrase is I call it the Netflix for food. Because when you watch Netflix, if you have a bad movie, you don't blame Netflix. You blame the director or the studio. Same thing with us. If you order through us and have a bad experience or good experience, you're thinking about the restaurant. But we are really the middleman. We're there to make sure that we tap into the big buzzy word 2-sided marketplace, which is we have hungry diners, or in our case we call them hangry diners, because usually you're in a state of anger, with restaurants who are wanting to capture your revenue or actually have excess capacity. So as a market platform, that's really our sole purpose, is to do this and to do this at scale. Now, why is this important? Because back in the day, for many of you, you probably experienced this. You have limited choices when you're ordering takeout. You often have a frustrating phone call. Let me tell you, as a marketer, I can't actually talk about that because it's actually offensive. Because if I talk about any experience you have putting your order on the phone, it's usually not a good experience. There's usually a language barrier. Sometimes think about the fact that your credit card is about being written on a scrap piece of paper. It's not the most secure, nor is it the most fun experience. There's often long hold times, and it's also error prone. So we talk about the fact that if you wanted a blackened chicken sandwich, but you actually get something else, you're not a really happy camper, especially when you're hungry. So these were the things that really were the genesis of why our CEO and founder said, hey, I want to make takeout a better experience. Now, that seems like such a large, such a simple thought to sort of try to address, but really, just looking at the room here, everyone here has had that same experience. Everyone can relate to it. So for us, the market opportunity was tremendous. But at the same time, we want to think about, hey, relative to where we are on the marketing and adoption curve, how do we want to think about the customers that we have? So I put this up there. It's a very interesting slide. It's when I first joined, and by the way, I was a product of the Seamless side when I first joined GrubHub. I remember that when I would tell people, when I first joined a company, hey, so I'm thinking about this company called Seamless. What do you guys think about it? And I literally had people stop me dead in my tracks saying, you don't understand. I love Seamless. Like people literally, and not just once, not just twice, it was like my mini celebrity moment every time I'd say, be doing this. People love the product, and I always wondered why. When you think about advocacy, it has to be something internal and innate that makes someone want to talk about it. However, people don't talk about it at dinner parties. They're not going to come out and say, oh my God, I love this online food ordering company called Seamless. What I really thought about, and this is like my own personal thesis, is that it's actually chemical. Right? You think about the fact that you're in a state of anger and hunger. You either tap or you click on a desktop, and suddenly you get food in an hour, and suddenly your emotion is that of joy. You do this a couple of times a week, a couple of times a month, suddenly you're associating this platform with something that makes you happy. And it's almost out of your control. It's almost an out-of-body experience that people just love it because it's a utility fundamentally. It's not something sexy. It's like cable. I'm getting your food, but it makes the process so much easier. Think about how you, back in the day, used to get your food. You go to the grocery, you go to the restaurant. You, in fact, are foraging for food. But what we've done is actually put that on its side, and we're now actually bringing the food to you. So what happens? You get exactly what you want. You are also save time, you actually get back time, and you're actually able to do more things that matter to you. And fundamentally, that's a really wonderful customer experience that we wanted to tap into. So I call it Pavlovian because at the end of the day, it's like the dogs, right? You hear the food and you're like, oh my God, it's here. We actually have this running joke that in New York and in LA and San Francisco, whenever people see their Seamless bags or their GrubHub bags come to the front desk, it's like a race to the front desk to see whose order it was because it's positively Pavlovian. You see the bag and you're ready to have that experience. So I've just shared with you the fact that there's an incredible amount of love for this product, just because it's something that is not just early adopters who love it, but as each one of you start to adopt it, you will see this exact chemical reaction. Now the question we have is, now how do we tap into this power of customer love? We have two dilemmas on our side. One of which is we're early on in the adoption cycle, but more importantly, it's a hyper-local product, meaning we're not everywhere in the country. We'd love to be, but we're not. So when I want to think about how do I tap into this just organic joy and love for the company, but do it in a way that can scale, it's really where you think about technology as a role to help you target, identify, and reward customers. It really becomes a powerful tool for us. And when I first joined, I was like, knowing what I knew as a marketer, I said, I need to tap into this. And when I looked at the referral program we had in-house, my jaw dropped. It was so manual. Someone had to pull an email, someone had to identify them, wait 30 days. I'm like, okay, this is unacceptable. For something where you're so early on in the adoption curve and we actually have this power and this love, we had net promoter scores that were through the roof in New York and Chicago, higher than OpenTable, higher than Yelp. For something that wasn't even that big yet, you needed to tap into that. So technology came in where we partnered with Extol, and I think it's almost been 3.5 to 4 years now, where I said, look, because we have this hyper-local sort of dilemma, but we know we have a base of people who love it, how do we sort of use technology? And this is where the story now becomes applicable to everybody, which is, to me, referral marketing isn't just a set it and forget it, right? We love that phrase, it's running there, you get your $5. What I told my team is I want to take the power of this customer love in this technology and optimize it. I really want to make sure that we actually create campaigns, integrated campaigns that support referral marketing. So what does that mean? It's not just a consistent, you get $5 here and you get $5 for every customer that you refer and all your friends get $5. I wanted to test, what is the tolerance of different sort of awards? 5, 10, 15. I wanted to also test, hey, why don't we find people who are our top referrers and do something for them? I also want to do something seasonal. What if during the winter we have most of our business? Is that an opportunity for us to actually capture more? The goal was not to just look at our referrers and say, oh, that's a base of customers you can always talk about. It's to actually say there is a marketing program that we can apply to a lot of these customers, and if we engage them, they're more likely to want to share. Why? Because like I said, they love the product. They want opportunities to actually be activated and to be incentivized. So as an example, we often had, this is an example of one of our tests where we had a $7 for an advocate and a $7 for a friend. And we also did a $10 advocate challenge, so it's a little richer. Well, we wanted to make sure that we balanced what obviously everyone here cares about, which is the lifetime value of that customer relative to what I'm paying everyone in. So when we look at our overall sort of ROI of the program, we're measuring it not just on how many clicks are happening, how many advocates, how many conversions, but also the time of the year. So as the years progress, and I would say we're probably 4 years now into this program, we're incredibly sophisticated when we think about how to utilize our most powerful advocates in a way that maximizes our profit and revenue without giving away the farm in an industry that is still relatively nascent and that actually still has that power that then allows us to target people hyper-locally. So it's a lot that I just said on there, but it's just an example of how we really think about referral marketing as an incredible engine to help drive our new customer acquisition, existing order acquisition, but really saying, hey, you know what, separate from this, we have a platform now that allows us to understand what people think about us, separate from the research that we do, in an honest and sort of like attentive way, but also at the same time we can monetize it. So it's incredibly important because most people don't think of referral marketing as a powerful tool. They're like, oh yeah, people love it, let's do something, keep it running. We really said, let's take a different approach and let's have the right partner that can help us do that, and that gives a right line of transparency into how are our campaigns doing, how can we turnkey things on an instant. I think I drove my team in stand-up points like, I want 4 campaigns running over like a 6-7 week period. Let's test each one out and let's see what actually works. Because going into our heavy season, I want to go in with our best program and our best foot forward instead of still testing there. So the platform itself is incredibly powerful in the sense of, we actually see advocates, reach conversions. There's a lot of different information that I can see that for someone who's a manager of this program, and I have someone who manages it, it gives her the line of sight into how is the program operating overall, but how is it also performing at the granular level in the individual campaigns, so that as we go from a quarterly to a yearly planning, we're able to say, this is the untapped potential of our referral marketing program, and this is how we need to latch onto that. Here's how we need to sort of approach the campaign, the offer, the incentive, so that we're actually maximizing all those different levers. Most importantly, what I love, and this is the part about it, is actually seeing what customers say in real time. And this specifically, this is just, I would say, the PG-rated sanitized versions, because you'd be surprised and amazed to hear what people say about your product when they don't realize that, obviously you can read a lot of the emails, you can read a lot of that and see it on the full-time dashboard. Whenever you feel sad, I would say turn it on, you'll feel better about your company. Because you realize how, in an honest way, people are would say, oh my God, Nana, this is the thing I was talking to you about. I absolutely love it, you must try it. And this is someone telling their grandmother to use the platform. Right? This is the kind of powerful advocacy that you see, and if you can find into that, you can we also use this data in a way where we say, we have our customer research that we do at the DMA level, we have our customer research we do when people are in a room, but this is a powerful customer research that tells you what people think about you in an unfettered, honest, unsort of monitored way. So then for us to be able to glean out, are there ways that we can leverage some of the nuggets of information, the learnings, how people position our product that can help us with all of our other marketing campaigns. So separate from the fact that we're able to monetize it, there's also this just qualitative aspect that all of us are able to see. And like I said, whenever I feel sad, I read these because I feel like, oh my God, people really love this product. So finally, just to kind of wrap it up for you. So I've talked to you about a little bit about how we thought about the power of customer advocacy for this specific product. The problem we were trying to tackle, which is how do we promote it hyper-locally, but promote it in a way that's also not just a set it and forget it, but in a really sort of targeted, integrated campaign way. And then finally, sort of how we use the tool to actually not just help us understand how we're performing, but also what people think about us. When you look at this image, I struggle to figure out how do I finish this presentation, because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. But when you see this image, you see a lot of warm fuzzy, right? At the end of the day, advocacy is that intangible feeling that you get when you look at someone, where you tell someone about a product, that why you love it. And for me, being able to monetize this kind of emotion is what this product is about and what we've really been trying to approach, because it's incredibly difficult. And it's not something that is easy, and it doesn't always fit for every product. But I knew that we had this untapped latent demand and just joy for this product that we needed to capture, and doing it using technology to help target and really make it more effective was a way to success. And I would say that, looking 4 years out, are there things that I could have done a little bit better? Yes. Do we want to continue scaling the business, leveraging this platform? We have that, in fact. We started with Extol actually as Seamless, and then we platformed it to GrubHub to make sure that we were able to take all of our learnings and best practices, and through our merger, be able to apply that across all and really grow the business overall. So I think I have 2 minutes. I already spoke through that. The most important moment of the day is I'm going to have my Oprah moment, where it's not free food, but everyone on your desk, everyone on your chairs basically has a gift card from GrubHub. So if you look underneath, there's like a $5 gift card for everybody. Not a car, not a house, it's a gift card. So control your emotion on there. But wherever you are, I want everyone here to have this emotion of what it's like to order online, to see the menus. So. I told you it was going to be heavy today. I know. So look, I just created so much love in this room. I'm feeling it. That's pretty much it for my sort of presentation. I hope you guys got a little bit, like I said, I've sat in your seats before, and I always want to know that, what am I walking away with? And like I said, is that You just have to think about your customers and what makes them tick about your product, and then figure out how to capture and monetize that. Because referral isn't just like I said, a set it and forget it. It really needs a lot more attention, a lot more thinking, and actually strategic approach on how you want to monetize it to really move your business forward. It shouldn't just be the only channel, it's one of many channels. All right?